G'day and welcome to the Travel New South Wales 8-week challenge. My goal is to travel every place on the bucket list with a net spend of zero. Let's go. So how do I plan to travel for 8 weeks, Sydney and New South Wales with a net spend of zero? By driving Uber for 20 to 25 hours a week, which works out to be about 4 hours a day, plenty of time for sightseeing and travel. The plan is to spend 1 week in Sydney before heading south on an 18-day trip, arriving back at Sydney for a further week before heading north up towards the Gold Coast and back on a 30-day trip. Let me explain in more detail. The first week of the 8-week challenge involves working my way through the Sydney bucket list, some of the most exciting and fun things I love to do here in Sydney. Part 2 of the 8-week challenge is heading south through the Royal National Park and Audley River to Wollongong to camp by the beach, then heading over to Kangaroo Valley for tea, crumpets and to see the Fitzroy Falls, and Burrell to see the Corbett Gardens, then heading over to world famous Jarvis Bay to sunbathe on Hyams Beach, before heading down to Bateman's Bay to eat some yummy oysters. Then we'll head further south to Ulladulla to see the harbour before heading all the way to the border Eden to see the Killer Whale Museum, heading over to the Snowy Mountains to see Jindabyne, Thredbo Parisher before Canberra, Parliament House, Ainslie Lookout, Wagga Wagga, the historic Council Chambers site, Dubbo Zoo and Gaul, Bathurst Racetrack, Orange Botanical Gardens, Mudgee Winery. Finally, before back to Sydney to the Blue Mountains to see the Carrington Hotel, the Three Sisters, the Wentworth Falls and the Laura Everglades. Spend another week in Sydney to see the remaining places on the Sydney bucket list before heading up to Newcastle to see Fort Scratchley and the Furnaby Track. Then heading to the wonderful Port Stephens to climb the Tamori Mountain, and then fish and chips at Forster on the way to the Koala Museum in Port Macquarie. Then we go via Bellingen and Dorrigo Falls to Coffs Harbour to the Big Banana Water Park, and then heading further north to Southwest Rocks, which got the Trial Bay Gaul, and then up to Yamba, the beautiful little surfing village, before heading to Byron Shire to see Mullumbimby Markets, Byron Bay to go surfing, to see the lighthouse, to stay in the Arts Factory, and then heading up to the Gold Coast to have a beer on the beach, Kingscliff Beach as well, amongst other things like seeing Minion Falls, the Lismore River, the boutique stores in Bangalore. Going to get a photo of Mawimba Mountain. So there's plenty to do in the Byron Shire, and then we're going to head back, completing the 8-week challenge. I think we'd all like to travel a bit more, but we are restricted by one or two things, either time and money. So by Ubering for 20 to 25 hours a week around New South Wales, you're eliminating one of these barriers. It costs approximately $850 a week minimum to travel around New South Wales with a car. That's, to break it down, a car hire from Europa Car, $240. Fuel, minimum $200. Spending money, I put down just $80, but obviously you can spend more if you have a bigger budget. Food, $160 per week. GST and tax, $80 a week. I can break that down in a future video. At the moment here in Sydney, driving Uber, you earn approximately $40 to $45 an hour. So $850 divided by 40 to 45 is 19 to 21 hours per week. In regional New South Wales, you earn a bit less, approximately $30 per hour. Therefore, you would either have to work a few more hours in regional or a few more hours in Sydney just to make up your money. But in general, it works out to be between 20 and 25 hours per week over the 8 weeks. So now I'm going to break down how to set up an Uber account. Okay, type into the App Store Uber Driver and then download the app. I've already downloaded it, so I'm just going to open the app here. You could have a page like this where you have to type in your phone number or your email and link it to the account. They'll send you a message and you just have to type in the number, and then you'll come up to a screen similar to this, and then you just upload all the documents. So we'll start by clicking on documents, and at the top you've got terms and conditions, which you just sign. The second one down I think is the background check, which costs $40, and it comes back within a week or two. Uber actually do this, and then they just take the $40 out of your first pay. The next one is the driving license front, which you just take a photo of and then just upload it. To apply for your driving record, just click on it and it will send you through to a link. Then you pay $22 and it'll come back within a week, and then you can just upload it. It's just to make sure that you're not banned or have any suspensions. The next one is national identity card. I use my passport. You can also use a birth certificate or even your driving license. The next one is the Vivo check. I just took a screenshot of my PR approval and uploaded it. Otherwise you can just follow the links and then upload. For further assistance you can just call support at the top, and there's also videos you can watch. Okay, next we're going to upload our details of the car that we're going to drive. So just click on the account and then you'll see the option of vehicles. When you click on that, I've got 2 cars there that are already registered, but I'm going to click on add a vehicle. So we just type in the make, MG, and then it'll ask you the model. So I'm going to type in HS. The year, and then the plate number. Then you'll click continue and it'll ask you for 3 things. It will ask you for the registration, the insurance, and the inspection report. So these documents, if you hire a car through Europa Car, they'll print them off, and I just took a photo and then uploaded them. This is the registration check, and then submit. They usually get back to you within a few hours, but if they don't, then you can just call the support just to quicken the process a bit. Okay, so now you're good to go. All you have to do is press the go button and off you go. So just looking at the map here, you've got different shades of colour. The blue means that it's getting a bit busier, but then the yellow means it's surcharging, and then the darker the colour, the more money. So it can go up to about 5 times the normal price, but I think the most I've ever had is about 3.4. And then to go offline, just click on the red button there where it says go offline. This here tells you what you can accept, parcels or people, and then you've got the auto accept thing at the bottom, which is really good for when you're doing consecutive trips. Next we can do destination setting, 2 of these a day, so you can type in your home and then they will find you trips towards your house, very useful also, and what time you want to arrive by. This information down here just tells you comments and your ratings and a bit of information about yourself. And if people have said you've got a nice car, your customer service, etc. This is your acceptance rate. Mine's 70%. It could be a bit higher. And next to that on the right, you've got this is the cancellation rate. This needs to be as low as possible. If it's above 3%, then you're not eligible for the promotions. And then that's my rating, 5 stars over 500 trips. The $sign at the top there is for the last trip that I did. It was approximately 35 minutes. Safety toolkit, you can follow my ride, and also you can call the emergency services. And then this screen just shows promotions. This is the inbox from Uber if they send you messages. And this is your opportunity or promotions again. You can see on the one coming up, 3 trips for $10, and the first trip has to be inside that blue zone and they have to be consecutive. Hello, so we're nearly there. I just run through a few things that I keep with me in my car. So phone charger and coffee, very important. We're still in COVID season, so hand sanitizer, face masks, which I store in my little compartment here, antibacterial wipes, umbrella, had a lot of rain recently, baby wipes in case one of the customers spills something. I've got my little duster from Super Cheap Auto, which is pretty cool. I've got a little bag full of sun cream and paracetamol. I've got my vouchers for the car wash on South Dowling Street, and you can get 2 for $10, and then you can use a vacuum cleaner for $2. Just saves a lot of time, but I can run through that in another video. I have a bottle of water, a little can of deodorant, and some mints. And then right in the back, I don't know if you can see it, oh, excuse me, you've got my Uber sticker there, which is a requirement by law, and they should send you one in the post. And then if they don't, you could just write on a piece of paper. And then the dongle at the front, you just go on the e-toll website, register with your email address and your phone number, and then put your bank details in. Whenever it goes below a certain amount, I think it's like $40, they would just automatically add $40. That's for the tolls here in Sydney. I can talk about the tolls in another video. Cool. So in the back of the car, I have a tent, I have a sleeping mat, a sleeping bag and a pillow. You can pick these up really cheap from Kmart. This tent here, which I bought, was only $35. If it did rain pretty hard during the night, I'd have to probably get in my car. So it's just worth checking the forecast. Also in the back of the car, I have my gym stuff, as there's many Plus Fitness locations in Sydney and New South Wales. It's nice to have a break from driving by just popping in the gym. Facebook Marketplace is a good place to start when looking for accommodation. Just type in accommodation to rent. There's also filters where you can type in your availability and your budget. This is a studio that I've got for $300 for my first week. I also use Airbnb, Booking.com and AirCamp for camping. Great, so we've got our car sorted, we've got accommodation, we've got a bucket list. We are all set for the 8-week challenge. Day 1 tomorrow. Let's get some sleep. I can't wait. Let's go.